It really is a magnificent morning out here at Summerveld, and we've come out to take a look at the field for the World Sports Betting Champions Cup, which we run on this Saturday, the 29th of July at Gravel Racecourse, and it really is an absolutely star-studded lineup. Headed by the Vodacom Durban July winner MARINARESCO, himself a son of Silvano, and of course he was victorious in this particular race last year, and it just so happens that World Sports Betting are the sponsors of the Candice Bass Robinson stable. We're now going to have an opportunity to speak to Robbie Fayd'herbe, who does duty here in KwaZulu-Natal for the Bass Robinson stable and has been so successful over such a long period of time of working with this formidable team. Robbie, I think a fitting end to the season, a fantastic day that you were victorious in last year. This year, a slightly different preparation, but few will argue that the Vodacom Durban July performance was absolutely breathtaking.
It's unbelievable. I missed the first one. I had to watch on replays, but it was breathtaking.
Now you say that because I remember speaking to Candice at the Oyster Box, and she said, well, she didn't even know MARINARESCO had won, bearing in mind that you had two other live wires in the race who were also finishing very fast. Just tell us how it unfolded for you.
At about the 400, 350, Nightingale came across and she went for the gap, and I thought, yeah, here we go, Nightingale is going to now quicken and got a big chance. And then MARINARESCO, I thought he was going to battle to make up the ground from how far he was and with carrying the top weight. So I changed my view and I started watching the filly, and then Horizon on the outside was also running on nicely, so I was watching there too. I was hoping that out of one of them they could win it for us, and then well, MARINARESCO went down the inside and he got up.
The most incredible thing for me is that this year, both of his victories have been recorded down the inside of the track. The drill hall was also breathtaking and heart-stopping. This time last year, he ran on so stoutly in the Vodacom Durban July to bullet home down the outside, and the same was true for the Champions Cup.
Yes, you know, I think the track managers have got Gravel quite nicely. It's even all around, you know. I don't think there's a bias to Gravel. Wherever the better horse is going, that's where they're winning. The grass doesn't look good on camera because it's winter and some grasses don't really grow in winter and it looks a bit brown. But if you actually walk the track, it's not that bad. It's a lot better than the previous years. And he went for Bernard, switched him in for a run, and he just took off.
Now, whereas Pocket Power was a big burly horse, he's quite a fine horse. He's, you know, been dubbed a little midget. But, you know, when you think about the great horses of the past, whether you're looking at Classic Flag or Teal or Northern Dancer or any of the great horses, the most important thing that everything works, and with him everything does work.
Yeah, I know he's small, but he's well put together. You know, he's in proportion, and everything works for him.
What I find very interesting is that you guys have taken up residence here at Lingari Park, which was, of course, once the property of Herman Brown. He's devised a way of eating over here that is natural for the horse, but something that they have to get used to.
Yeah, you know, the manger's on the floor, and I said the first few weeks they seem to scrape their shins and stuff, but they get used to it. The bigger horses have a habit of putting their foot in the manger while they're eating on their food, but they get used to it.
Okay, let's go to this horse's preparation. Last year he was drafted up from Cape Town. Obviously, you saw that he was equal to the task of the Winter Challenge. He didn't arrive here until a little bit later, and the Vodacom Durban July was clearly his mission, but he was still absolutely flying when it came to the end of the season.
Yes, you know, he came late and he ran a cracker in the July, and then we were like, okay, that's it, he's a young horse. We don't really harden our 3-year-olds, so we thought, so I spoke to Mr. Bass at the time, and I said, Mr. Bass, you know, he's come out the race so well. So he said, you know what, nominate and let's see. And then we thought, if he cracks a draw, we'll run him. And he didn't get the greatest of draws, but then we sat down, we spoke about it, and we said, you know what, let's have a go and run him. And it worked out for us. He won a nice race.
Now, obviously, we've looked at history, and we've seen horses like London News, Politician, to mention but two big horses that have been beaten in the Champions Cup at the end of the season because it might just be a bridge too far. But this guy has seriously come well at the right time of the year, notwithstanding the fact that he prepped early in May.
Yeah, I know. He has come well, but if you see, Andrew, his runs have been quite well spread out. You know, he hasn't run up close. You know, he ran in the Jalal, and then it was a month and a bit later the Gold Challenge was about 4 weeks later, and then 4 weeks after that the July, and then now 4 weeks again until Champions Cup. So his races have been spread out. They're not on top of each other, so it gives them time to recover and to come well again.
Now, sponsorship's very important for the sport of horse racing, and obviously Cuda is a very integral part of your business. You know, you've got guys in your stable that have been involved with Team Bass from day one. But World Sports Betting is a breath of fresh air that have come to the party to sponsor what was known as the Mike and Carol Bass Champions Cup last year, and they're also sponsors of your stable, which is a very gratifying aspect of the particular running of the yard.
Yes, you know, World Sports Betting is a nice bunch of young guys, and they're enthusiastic guys, and they do bring a breath of fresh air to racing. We need these guys to sponsor racing, otherwise we'd be battling a bit. But it's good, and they're sponsoring the yard. It's a good friendship, and hopefully it gets stronger.
And the beautiful part of having two sponsors is that neither conflict with each other. They're completely different realms.
Yes, definitely. The one's into household and car and insurance and horse insurance, and other one's a betting thing.
Now, if I had to put you right on the spot, how confident were you before the Vodacom Durban July with so many things against you? And how confident are you now in the World Sports Betting Champions Cup?
To be honest, Andrew, it was I always thought it was a hard task for him in the July. He was doing well at home, and I thought, you know, I can't get him any better for this race. Just the weight now, and it worked out for us. So for this race, it's weight for age, a little bit of weight difference. Obviously, Captain America has had a nice prep into the race, and I think he's the horse to beat. You know, but they both got level weights now, and MARINARESCO, here we got the giant, the midget taking on the giant, but we'll give him a run for his money.
What about the filly? The filly was mighty impressive in the Garden Province Stakes, and there are lots of shouting from the rooftops there for that filly and Mr. Delpeche.
Yeah, you know, Bella she is a decent filly, but I think for a filly to take on these two horses, they're strong horses. She's going to have a work cut out for her, but that's racing now. She's also in with a chance.
Is there anything else in the race that represents good value? I mean, other than Bella and the giant Captain America, who would obviously be an emotional winner having just lost Captain Al, do you see anything else in the race that represents a big threat to MARINARESCO?
To be honest, I think those are the main two rivals. I haven't really looked at the lower weight horses, but I think those are our main two rivals.